So my project, my presentation is about giving space. I didn't know that's what it was to begin with, though. It was an evolution for me, and moved from stepping stone to stepping stone until it finally revealed itself. So I'd like to share a little bit of that process with you. One of the things I was really struck by when I came here to Module 1 of the leadership program last fall was the sheer amount of space that I felt. I felt tended to, I felt supported, and yet there was so much spaciousness. And I remember saying to you, Arjuna, thank you for all the things you didn't give me. So I think that was the seed, that was the little seed that took place, that took root for me. When I left here, though, and I started my journey home, and I started to think about what my project would be, I was very inspired. 3 words came to me: pause, reflect, and release. That pausing really is about taking a moment of stillness. And the reflecting for me is about going into my body and listening to my body and what sensations I'm feeling in my body. And the release is after that letting it all go. So not about reflecting to necessarily find something or to find the answer or the solution or what should I do now, but just to listen to my body, just to let this come from my body and then let it go. And sometimes finding insight and oftentimes not, and learning to be okay with that. And I felt that this would be a good thing to integrate into my life, especially I think my way of reacting to situations that might be uncomfortable for me until, for much of my life has probably been more like freeze, cut off, and run like hell. Right? Like, this is uncomfortable, I'm not going to feel this, how do I get out of this situation? Right? So I thought that was a great place to start, and that's where I started. And what I found was, as I would pause and reflect, there was a sensation of time slowing down. And rather than, a lot of movement, like if you're in the water and you're splashing and you're making a lot of movement, you can't, there's no clarity in the water, right? But if you're calm and you're still, you can see to great depths in the water. And that's one of the things that came to me through that. And also, I was greatly inspired by Rumi in the line, and Ruth mentioned it earlier as well. What you seek is seeking you. So what I felt was that I actually didn't need to find the solution at all. There need be no effort, that I could actually, in the pause and the feeling into my body, I could just let it come to me. Whenever it was ready to come, it was more a receiving. Okay? So the stillness, I felt like it cleared a fog away from me, so I could be found. So I just need to, all this movement and motion kind of crowds me in, can't see me. So when I find that pause and that stillness, I can be found. And then it shifted a little bit for me. Curiosity came in to the picture, and I had a new triad of words that came to me, and that was be present. Very similar, but be present, be curious, and be relaxed. So I started to work with curiosity, and that felt different for me in that the reflection was more of an intimate dance. The curiosity took me out of myself, more into relationship, into community, and out into the infinite. So it felt much more open to me. It felt more playful. It felt more relaxed. I also was reading a book at the time, Pema Chodron's book, Taking the Leap. And I found this a fabulous support. So in it, she refers to the spaciousness of our sky-like mind. She tells us that our minds are fundamentally expansive, flexible, curious, and open. And that we can connect to this quality anytime when we pause, breathe deeply, and slow down. It's our natural intelligence that steps in. So then I wanted clarity. So what is my project? And I felt like I was really grasping to clarify exactly what the project was. And the more I grasped, the further it became further afield, and I couldn't quite contain it. And then I realized that, my experience is really about giving space, just letting go, letting be what it will be. So giving space to what wants to show up. Not so much a space-time relationship as a space trust. So being okay with not necessarily having the answer right now, the resolution, the answer to the question. And in that spaciousness, I just relaxed into that and opened up. I felt like new channels were opened up wider within me, deeper and wider, and I became able to receive more in the spaciousness, more sponge-like. Yes, so more was able to come in, and I received great inspiration, and I felt like this was just wonderful in this spaciousness. Anything could happen, right? Anything can happen, and I don't need to direct it. Just let it come in. I wanted also to share with you some of the inspirations that came to me in that spaciousness. And one of them was this vision of really where I'm at in my life right now. It's like there's two funnels coming in, and one side is the fullness of all the experiences that I've had in my life so far, and the things I've learned, and as I've spiraled around and experienced things over again, recognizing, yes, that feels right for me, or no, I'm going to let that one go, that one doesn't, the experience is how I feel, who I am. And there's a great fullness, all of the experiences, and on the other side, there's this funnel that's emptiness. It's completely spacious. And it's when we pass, right? Where we move to. So I think about that in my life a lot more now. People dying. my father who died at a young age, at 56, and this winter my brother who passed, and a young friend in his 20s, and you know, this is the nature of it, right? So I'm aware of that, and I'm accepting that as well. This is the place that I'm going to this great spaciousness. But right now I'm right in the middle of it. And it just gives me great appreciation for every moment that I have. All of this fullness and all of this spaciousness right together. I also had some nice insight into why I do what I do. So, facilitating movement, bringing people into their bodies. And these words came to me very clearly, that I do what I do so that people can have a deeper experience of themselves. That's why I do it. So people can have a deeper experience of themselves. I also feel as though my senses are growing sharper, that I'm able to take in more. I'm able to connect, to what's around me, not to miss as much, to take it in. And this is a beautiful line that has really struck a chord with me and really stayed with me through this experience of spaciousness. And it's Yeats, who says, "The world is full of magic things, patiently waiting for our senses to grow sharper." I love that. It's all here already. You know, the magic and the mystery, it's all here. It's not like we need to call it in, right? We just need to find the spaciousness, to hear it, to see it, to touch it, to know it. Patiently waiting for our senses to grow sharper. I don't have to do anything but take that in. So I feel when I am giving space to the person I'm becoming, and I'm always becoming, I'm always changing. And if I continually fill that space up, there's no room for me to grow into. There's no space for me to change, to shapeshift, to reinvent and rediscover myself. So I'm learning to be okay with the spaciousness and just staying connected to it and filled with gratitude when something comes through and being fine when nothing comes through. It's my practice just to show up and to remember the spaciousness. And as I was flying here, I was listening to an audio tape. It was John O'Donohue beauty. And he quoted Meister Eckhart, who I learned is a 13th century theologian, philosopher, and mystic. There is a place in your soul that neither time, nor flesh, nor any created thing has ever touched. There's this place of beauty within you that no one has ever gotten to, no one has ever damaged. So you don't need to go anywhere. You don't need anything from anyone, really, to find out who you are. If you stop and be still and attune to that deep, beautiful whisper within your soul, that space inside of you, you will discover yourself and you will take great delight in the gift that is your life. Thank you.